EcoCABANABAAN is currently facing environmental problems that affects the daily life of its residents. One of the major issues is improper waste disposal, which has led to polluted river and contributes to flooding in the area. Although the flooding is not very severe, it still causes hardship, especially for farmers, whose crops and livelihoods are affected when water overflows. The polluted river not only damages the environment, but also poses the health risk of the community.
Magandang umaga po sir. Nais ko lamang po sana kayong tanungin ng mga ilang katanungan kung bakit po nagkakaroon ng mga basura o kalat dito sa tabi ng ilog po.
Nagtatapon lang naman po kami sa tabi. Wala po kasing mapaglagyan ng basura sa bahay. Kaya napipilitan po kami magtapon dito sa tabi ng ilog.
When it comes naman po sa mga barangay officials, sa mga kabataan po ninyo, may mga ginagawa po ba silang mga aksyon o paraan para po mabawasan at matanggal yung mga basura na nakakalat sa tabi ng ilog at sa ilog po mismo?
Opo. Sa katunayan nga po yan, may clean up na rin po dito monthly. Naiipon po kasi ang basurahan dito. Tapos kinokolekta ng dump truck mula sa munisipyo.
Magandang umaga po sir. Napag-alaman po namin na nagkakaroon po kayo ng problema sa mga basura dito na ayun nga po, na iipon po sa inyong mga ilog. Nais lamang po sanang tanungin kung ano po yung mga nagiging epekto nito para sa inyo.
Masama ang nagiging epekto nito kasi pag may bagyo, sunod-sunod yung ulan, napupuno yung ilog namin at nagkakabara dun sa imbakan ng tubig hanggang umapaw sa kalsada at dumiretso sa mga palay namin. Yun, nasisira ang mga palay namin.
Ayun po, kung gano'n nga po ang nararanasan po ninyo, sa pangalawang tanong po namin ay may mga ginagawa po bang mga barangay officials natin para po maiwasan at mabawasan ang mga ganitong epekto?
Yun, sa taunan naman, nagpapamiting yung barangay namin kung ano yung dapat gawin dito sa ilog, tulad ng daluyan ng tubig para hindi makasira sa mga palayan. Ang ginagawa naman nila, dinidisiplina naman nila yung mga tao, kaso kulang nga lang sa disiplina. Kaya pinapalinisan yung ilog para hindi umapaw yung tubig.
Kung ganun po sir, maraming salamat po sa inyong partisipasyon.
Okay, sir, maraming salamat.
Matapos nating marinig ang pahayag ng mga ilang residente mula sa Barangay Cabanabaan ay nalaman natin na hindi lamang iisa o dalawa ang kinakaharap na problema ng isang komunidad. Upang mas mabigyang linaw, narito ang isang presentasyon upang malaman kung ano nga ba ang mga problema at solusyon na pwedeng isagawa ng Barangay Cabanabaan. So to formally start our presentation, this is our action plan project. For the community profile, the name of barangay is Cabanabaan and was located at Camiling Tarlac with estimated population up to 1,500. To have a brief description of the community, Barangay Cabanabaan is a rural barangay and the community is surrounded by farmland, and farming is the primary source of livelihood for many residents. The community faces challenges related to solid waste, polluted river, and flooding, which directly affect the well-being and income of its residents, particularly the farmers. After having these informations, we have identified the environmental problems. And the types of problems we have identified were improper waste disposal, polluted river, and flooding. And for the description of the problem, Barangay Cabanabaan is currently facing multiple environmental problems that affects the daily lives of its residents. One of the major issues is improper waste disposal, which has led to a polluted river and contributes to flooding in the nearby area.
And now let us move forward to the causes of the problem. First is the improper waste disposal, wherein the residents nearby the river throw garbage in open areas and along the river instead of doing proper waste management. And next is the lack of waste management facilities, wherein irregular garbage collections make it hard to dispose of waste properly because according to barangay officials that we've interviewed, the collections of the garbage is done once a month. Next is the lack of community awareness. So some residents may not fully understand the importance of proper waste disposal and they did not know how to dispose the waste properly. And for the effects or impacts on the community, first is in the environmental. So we have here the water pollution and the flooding, wherein the river becomes dirty and unsafe for people and animals. For flooding, it blocks waterways, cause rainwater to overflow, especially during heavy rains. And next is for social. We have here the unpleasant surroundings and the damaged crops. So it is improper waste disposal, polluted river, and flooding can reduce the quality of life and cleanliness in the barangay. So for damaged crops, farmers lose their incomes, especially when fields are flooded or soil is affected. So for our health related, we have here the disease outbreaks and the poor air quality. So in disease outbreaks, dirty water and garbage can lead to illnesses like dengue, leptospirosis, or skin infections. So for our poor air quality, improperly disposed of garbage causes full of smells and may affect breathing, especially among residents of the barangay. Next is the LGU or the stakeholder collaboration sa Barangay Cabanabaan. So, special thanks to Ma'am Rosalie O. Gamboa, the Barangay Kagawad, together with Sir John Carlo F. Kuraming, their SK chairman. The summary of discussion. The officials of Barangay Cabanabaan, particularly Kagawad Rosalie Gamboa and SK Chairman Carlo, were generally supportive and cooperative when asked about environmental issues in their community. The first question that we asked is the main environmental issue in Barangay Cabanabaan, which is improper waste disposal. Although there is a solid waste management program in designated areas for dumping trash, some residents still throw garbage near the river or burn it, especially when the municipal garbage collection is delayed. This lack of discipline remains as a challenge despite frequent reminders and cleanup drives every Saturday led by barangay officials and community members, as stated by Kagawad Rosalie Gamboa. The next problem is that the river is also heavily polluted and trash still ends up along the sides. There are disciplined residents, but not all follow proper disposal methods. The river can also carry garbage from nearby towns, worsening the problem. But flooding is not very severe in some Purok, but it affects the rice fields and some parts of Purok 4 and 5, especially when the river overflowing. And also one factor is blocked by trash. And asked what are their projects about the environment SK, Chairman Carlos stated that the barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan or the SK have initiated cleanup drives weekly and monthly, installed trash bins in designated areas, and distributed informational flyers. However, environmental seminars and strict penalties for violators are lacking. Plans to elevate parts of the barangay, including the evacuation center, are in place to prevent minor flooding.
Here comes our proposed action plan, and it's entitled EcoCABANABAAN, One Barangay, One Mission. So here's our 3 goals or objectives of this action plan. The first one is to conduct a regular river cleanup drive. So this one, there's a once a month to reduce a waste pollution and to improve the water flow in the community. The second one is to raise the awareness of proper waste disposal. So by organizing a seminar with the LGUs and the environmental agencies. And the last one is to promote an active community participation So with the environmental protections through the collaborations of agencies, youth, and barangay officials.
So for our proposed activities, the first activity we plan to implement is a river cleanup drive. It is conducted once a month. This will be a community-wide effort to clean the polluted river with active participations from residents, barangay officials, youth volunteers, and local environmental groups. The activity will be carried out in the collaboration with the local government unit or the LGU and the barangay officials who will provide necessary tools, hauling vehicles, and the safety equipment. And the second activity will be a seminar on a proper waste disposal aimed at educating the community about the importance of waste segregation and responsible waste management. This seminar will help residents understand the environmental consequences of improper waste disposal and teach them the proper actions or ways on how to segregate waste and practical actions they can take in their daily. So the resource of speakers are from the LGU, DNR, or local environmental organizations that will be invited, and educational materials such as flyers that will be distributed. So next is the target beneficiary. So the primary beneficiaries are the residents of the barangay, especially on the farmer who live and have rice field in the area. Next, the duration of the activities. The action plan will be implemented over a period of 8 months from July 2025 to February 2026. Each month, both the river cleanup drive and the waste management seminar will be planned and executed as integrated community activities. And in July 2025, conduct sites visits and observations in Barangay Cabanabaan to assess the current condition of the river and waste management practices. And in August 2025, begin planning and drafting the full action plan, including objectives, target beneficiaries, and needed resources. And in September 2025, coordinate with the barangay and LGU for project approval, partnership, and budgeting the materials. And in October 2025, invite resource speaker and finalize all materials and equipment needed for the program implementation. Next is November 2025. Implement the program, which includes the river cleanup drive and waste management seminar with full community participations. December 2025, second wave of cleanup river up drive activities and seminars of the people in the barangay. And for January 2026, conduct feedback sessions and reflections activities to evaluate the program's effectiveness, document lessons learned, and gather community insights. For February 25, the second wave of river cleanup drive activities and seminar of the people in the barangay.
During the course of this project, we encountered challenges in selecting a specific barangay to visit. The difficulties were caused by limitations in time, the necessity of coordinating with barangay officials for their availability on a particular day, and the inherent difficulties in choosing among the available barangays. We recognize the profound importance of eco-literacy. Being eco-literate is instrumental in formulating and implementing strategies to preserve and conserve natural resources. It fosters a deeper appreciation and gratitude towards the environment we inhabit. The environment is our home, and it is imperative that we maintain its cleanliness and safeguard its well-being. As a student, we can contribute to protecting the environment by identifying places in our community that need help and creating action plans to improve them. Just like what we are doing in our subject, we can learn how to manage our environmental resources, past, present, and future. More responsibility. We can also volunteer in environmental projects and join up cleanup drives in our community or school. Even a small action like this can make a big difference. Another way to help is by using social media to share activities like these activities, because social media has the power to inform and inspire others. When people see videos or posts about caring for the environment, they become more aware of what's happening around them and may be encouraged to take an action too. And lastly, as they say, the environment is where we all meet and is the one thing that we'll share. So let us do our part, no matter how small, because every actions count.
And that's our action plan. EcoCABANABAAN, one barangay, one mission.